Hey everybody, welcome back to Into the Vale. I'm Rachel, and it's great to be back with you finally. It is sweltering this evening, and I apologize for my appearance, but I did want to get out here. If you've been following Arkansas Bigfoot, you know that we've had activity very close to the house. We've got a new arch that developed, glyphs. Not far, we're seeing structures being put together. I don't want to disturb that. We also have some other smaller arches that are beginning to come into place. So, exciting times, and I really feel that I want to set up a small gifting area here. Because I do so appreciate that they are willing to be a part of our family. And sometimes it is a little easier to just run out the door and give them something special. So I think I'm going to bring it behind this arch. There's a lot of path here. And I get the sense that they're kind of working their way through and around this.
Right there, straight off, goes right across that pasture.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell them because I don't have a microphone on.
Mm-hmm. Right across this pasture.
Right into the big woods over there.
On the other side. It's a little piece. But all of this is really pretty clear, and I found that with the people, a wide path is often their preference for travel, although they will, use tighter spaces for cover. So I think I'm just going to work with this tree because I see a lot of activity here. And I just have, in honor of the 4th of July, it was last year that the 4th of July that Junior brought the Mylar balloon with that bold electric blue, and it was, I think, the day after the 4th, but I have a feeling he kind of likes those fireworks, so I thought he might appreciate the stars particularly. And they are a very stellar people, so hopefully they will enjoy that. Just a little fruit, some apples, some little, not tangerines, sweet oranges, the mandarins, sorry, drew a blank. And these are those little firecracker snacks, something a little spicy for our big guy. And then I also brought our peanuts, some chamomile, or the ladies, and a little sassafras root. It's not a lot, but I don't feel like it takes a lot for them to use that. It's just a little something. have to have the moon pies. But I'm going to take the opportunity to try here in a few hours after I've cooled down and gotten refocused, hopefully cleaned up a little, to sit down with Anku and see if he has anything to share with us. And I hope they respond to this gifting spot. Okay guys, welcome back. It's late and we have had a really busy night. If you can hang out for a little while, I think it will become self-explanatory. We have an insert clip for you, but I will talk about that in a minute. I don't want to hold Anku's energy up, as I've asked him to assist if he would. Thank you. Gonna feel him very gently moving over here to my left. Anku, there was a question from, I'm going to use Mary T, because I do not have her permission to use her full name. And she was curious about all of the conversation about the earth shifting 3D, 5D, and so on. So if you'll hold that thought for a moment for me, brother. I do want to say, for those of you that are new, Anku is what we consider to be the patriarch of the family that we work with. Moreover, he is a leader amongst his own. He's a phenomenal teacher. His specialty is truly in what we call quantum. I almost get the sense of him chuckling. He said it's much easier than it's been explained, but you have to experience it. Oh boy, it's going to be one of those nights. I can sense that his humor is bubbling up. And he does have an amazing, cheeky sense of humor. So we'll see how that goes. But moreover, he is one that teaches on the all, on the one mind, on the one heart. And it would be his desire, he's saying, to see man evolve their consciousness in such a way that they can also experience that, I feel like he's saying, resonance, that knowing within themselves. When man can look at anything outside of himself and realize it represents something within themselves. Be it a person, plant, animal, even the construct of your homes, their condition, the way you, I feel like he's saying organize, the way you portray yourself is signature to your own energy. Also, if you're new, I should stop for a moment before I get too far. The rods are something that I do for you. Communicating with him for me is actually easier without them, and I will tell you why. There is a reflex within our body, and it is, I believe it's called ideomotor function. So even if information is coming through the subconscious, muscle movement has to happen in order for rods, pendulums, any kind of a tool like that to work. So for me, I have to really focus on holding very, very still, because it confuses people if they see these motor functions happening, thinking I'm making the rods do something. I promise you I'm not. It would not serve me. It would not serve you. There will be times that I will set the rods down because my hands, they're just a conduit for energy. The information is not coming from the rods. Yes. And for Anku, he confirms information by touching my heart, which I love. And Anku, if you could please stop for a moment. Can you show a no? He doesn't like no, he said. Well, the left one, or what's in my left, it'd be your right, is generally pointing to about where his energy is present. And there's the no. And it always points behind me. And he told me once that a no pointing behind me means never look over your shoulder. Basically, not to own too much of what you consider your past as your truth today. There are parts that are true, of course. And there's the yes to confirm that. But he's saying the heart is always correct. That's why he uses that for a yes, because the heart cannot lie. Is that right? Thank you. Okay, so on an energetic level, I do set them down sometimes because my hands literally tingle. It's very distracting to me. They're already tingling. His energy is immense. He's very cautious about how much he allows me to feel at one time. Over the last few years, a couple of years, we've established a very strong bond. I consider him my brother, my friend, best friend. And I would not be without him as a teacher. he's being in his cheeky mode, and I felt like he was mocking. If we were to say something like "aw shucks," not quite, but very close. And so, with that, let's get down to business. Is that agreeable? No fun, but necessary. And when I describe the visuals that I'm given, understand that when the information hits my mind, the frequency, the vibration that he's sending in thought, what naturally happens is the brain interprets data frequency. It interprets it into something that we can relate to because everything has a vibration. So in channeling or working with specific energies, they will send that frequency. My brain gets a hold of it. My mind, he said your mind, which is more than the brain, and gives me an interpretation, almost like interpreting a language. That's the best way to put it, he said. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, so the 3D, 5D. Do you want to talk about this, Anku? Very much. The earth is shifting. Has been for some time. Honestly, since its creation. So the earth, he said, is shifting rapidly at this time. This has been going on for millennia. Because much like all life, all of man, all universal life, from the point of your creation, you are meant to expand. The earth is no different. Her consciousness, her expression also expands. She is your mother. What she experiences, you do also experience at some level. She feels your pain, your sorrow, but also your joy, your excitement. And I get the sense that I feel like he's doing this, like it's a much more symbiotic relationship than you realize. It's a balance between your growth, your evolution, and hers. In reference to the 3D, 5D, he said the biggest challenge is that many people believe they are going, I feel like he's saying blast off, that they're like just going to blast off of the face of the earth. It's not quite that dramatic, but it will be quite noticeable, because if you can grasp that the dimension that you experience is relative to the consciousness in the all everything expands together. The earth herself represents, I kind of feel like he's choosing his words. The earth herself has representation of all life that exists, all consciousness that exists. So everything is evolving so far beyond what you can perceive at this moment. And the point of being on a new earth is correct. I feel him kind of frowning. It is correct, for just as you... He shows me a snake shedding skin. So, just as you, in your growth, shed old ways of being, old patterns, which would be comparable to a snake shedding its skin. It's never without the skin. It would be almost as if it doesn't really perceive that it's lost anything. And yet it feels rejuvenated. Bigger. It's only in growth that process is necessary. So with that, it could be said that the earth also is creating what you might consider or compare to a new skin, a new layer of energy to be experienced for those that match that frequency. So dimension truly could be considered a state of mind, a point in growth, and as you ascend and grow, evolve, you gain access to higher dimensions because your consciousness has met those aspects of creation. He's also, he said it could be for some that you would wake up to what you feel is different or like a new reality. He said, but understand your mind, your consciousness is what is creating your reality, your thought patterns, your beliefs. He said, if you believe in, he's coining, I feel like he's doing quotes. If you believe in the doom and gloom, then magnetically that's what you will draw to you. It really doesn't matter if the earth is shifting rapidly or not. Your thoughts are creating your reality consistently, every moment. Every moment. but many of you are afraid of what you don't know. He said, we are here to assist, as are others now. The others, because I'm asking him others, question mark. The others are the ancient ones, these who assisted in creating this beautiful planet, this sphere of life as you know it, and assisted in creating you. So there's a great vested interest in all of this. And he's saying that in the same way that highly sensitive individuals, empaths, intuits, he said there are many with, I feel that it's like different jobs. Would that be a correct? Okay. All of these are filtering earth energy, and through their bodies, through their light vessel. And just as you, in shedding your skin, are removing what does not serve you any longer, the earth too, in that process, is removing what does not serve her any longer. The individuals, these individuals are, and I believe he's referring to the highly sensitive types of man. Okay. Not all of them practice their intuitive skills, but they are highly sensitive no less. They have a unique connection to the Earth Mother, and are, I feel like he's showing me, it feels like it's pulling up these old energies and pushing them back out from them. But simultaneous, or some of these are pulling in the higher frequencies and giving it to, like, grounding it into the earth. So that may be something we need to dig into a little further. But it is a pulling in, like a circuit. That's the word I want. A circuit of energy. So the higher dimensions are sending these vibrational bursts, or in some cases I feel like it looks like a column of energy, and it's being sent into the earth through man, for she has that special connection. In our design, even in our energetic system, our chakra system, there is a chakra within the earth herself for each of you. If it's activated, then this process feels like it's enabled. He's saying, for those of you who have been receiving intense downloads of information, please do not disregard. For it is essential not only for man, but for the earth herself, in order that the growth between them is consistent, matched. He gives me the word matched. It's equal. Okay. But do know that everything, all life, universally, is expanding also. The energies that have come to assist are not harmful. They are helpers. Most of you will not be aware of them. Some of you will be. But they also, he's saying they also have a job to do, because in that expansion, how would you show this, Anku? In that expansion that goes beyond the earth, let's say universally, galactically, whatever you're comfortable with, it is truly universal. But for these that have come, it's I feel like they're conduits. Is that the word? Close. Conduits, wherein the process that man and the earth herself are going through can be relayed back to their own species, their own consciousness. Some do not have a physical form like man, but all have consciousness. Okay. Are you sitting? I'm going to interrupt you. Please stop. Are you sitting? Right here? Okay. It's fine. I don't mind. He's been so very busy, and I always find it to be an absolute treat to work with him. He said it is always my pleasure to be here with you all. The growth is immense. The win is assured. And with that, I would like to also add a lovely sub had asked what is going on, because all of a sudden we're able to see this and that, and the orbs, are they elemental, are they the people, are they, the questions are just bubbling. And please stop for a moment. His energy gets to flowing so strongly that the rod just doesn't want to quit moving. So Anku, in response to that, would it be your perception that we are seeing more with our physical eyes? Some. He said some are. More will be. And it is in the expansion because as the earth and man are both expanding, dimensional barriers virtually cease to exist. He said, as an example, if you understand 3D, you understand if something is three-dimensional to you. What you give little thought to is the fact that 3D is made up with 1D and 2D as a part of its construct. When you begin to look at a square as a cube, I just saw him put his hand up like he's thinking of a good way to explain it. He said it would be similar to understanding that if you drew a star on a piece of paper, a circle, a square, a triangle, anything, it's very flat. You understand that if it were truly in your space, that it would have more expression. It would have more depth. It would have more to it. And he said, if you consider dimension, when you have surpassed the 3D fears, the ego issues, for the most part, and you expand yourself into the fourth dimension, wherein you begin to realize that time is infinite, that essentially all time is now, because you can be standing in this moment, and I feel like he's turning his head to the left or over his shoulder. You have the ability to pull information from your past into this moment, or look at your hopes or your goals for the future and draw them into this moment also. He said this is a very base explanation, but truly all time is now. The power in that, when you begin to really process that, will give you access to greater levels of who you are, greater levels of your own being, your own experiences, and enable you to heal from the point of your creation into the most evolved version of who you are. So all of these things that are being witnessed or experienced by some, he said, when you surpass your limited 3D into the 4D, 5D consciousness, it's sort of like the difference between holding a ball, a sphere in your hand, or drawing a circle on a paper. It's the walls become so thin. Yes, it is a natural part of the 4D and 5D also, just as the 1D and the 2D are a part of the 3D. Holy goodness. But in that, it's sort of insignificant. So your focus is on dimensions and or planes of existence that are operating at a much faster vibration. And with your focus being on this, your mind, more than your brain, can then begin to perceive what exists in it. He said it is a lot of information. And I kind of feel like he's wondering if he explained it well. So we might revisit this and let him have an opportunity to consider if he gave enough or too much information. He's very cautious not to try to overwhelm, because he would that you would, okay, their verbiage sometimes is a little tricky, but he would that you would be edified by what he brings to you. Did I say that properly? Okay. And that it would be a seed for more growth versus I felt like he showed me a jug of grass killer. So rather than to harm you with too much information, he's very cognizant of the effects. He calls it data. The effects of data. He said, I am trusting you because in your expansion, the more you've expanded, the more data or light you can hold and process. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay. He said that is probably enough for now. And hopefully that didn't jump around too much. In my own process, the last number of weeks, few months, ascension is something that, it's a big word. And evolution and ascension kind of go hand in hand. but they're not entirely the exact same thing. And this last one for me, thankfully, with the help of the family, with the Ormis, with the Creator's help, for sure. A lot of prayer, meditation. I finally was able to come out of that. I don't know that I can call it a sabbatical, but it was very similar. And you know, I think all of us, perhaps when we're younger, we first begin to become aware of our growth patterns. We think we're going to hit a point where it stops, or maybe it just quits becoming a challenge. And I do believe it becomes less of a challenge the more we evolve or climb that ladder, so to speak. But until we've removed all of those layers of the things that do not truly serve us as a light being, it's still a process. And every time, in the way that Anku explained it to me, every time we hit another level, it's an opportunity to get into a deeper layer of that truth that we have perceived, or that thing that we feel is there to be healed within us. Once all of that's done, then it can change tide, is what I feel like he's saying, where the upper side of that is much less intense in the way of emotion, or having to pull up what we perceive as our past. And he said this too is extensive. Is there anything that you do that's not extensive? Okay, I asked. No, he is very thorough, and I am very grateful. So, tonight, let's switch gears completely. I had set up, under a great conviction, had set up that small gifting area, and we knew that we'd had a lot of activity. It's just not far from the house at all, and we're kind of used to a reasonable amount of activity close to the house. That's not a problem, but literally I'm finding imprints of feet, glyphs, just literally outside of the front door. So, excuse me. Everything inside of me said to set up a small area for them here and see about the response. And at first it felt a little funny, because it's like, how many gifting areas should a person have? But knowing the way that they often work with our thoughts and our heart when we're convicted, sometimes it's, something they truly would like to see if it's possible. Did that, and it was about 3 hours later, 4 hours, the guineas and the geese all started raising Cain. The dog started raising Cain, and I thought, well, the guineas were all close to where my rabbits are, and I thought maybe it was a predator. So I told Ken I was going to go out and check on it. And I got out there. There's nothing that I can see. So I thought, well, I'll just stand here and kind of watch the woods for a little while and make sure. He came out to check on me, and I asked him if he would get the FLIR, because in the moonlight I was seeing something moving. So I thought, well, maybe we can get a heat signature on it and potentially figure out what's got everybody in an uproar. Well, we had a delightful surprise, and I'm not, maybe I can ask. Okay. Anku. The individual was this adult. Are you pointing? One moment. Who? Junior? One of the girls? Arctic? Okay. And so apparently it is Took present. So not surprised. Thank you. You're welcome, Took. So apparently it was Took. Were you Anku? Is it alright if I communicate with Took? Okay. Took, would you be willing to communicate with me? It's a little reserved, a little shy. Not too much, he says. Did you enjoy? You took the firecracker snacks. Okay. I guess, if I'm feeling this correctly, he is sharing that he also enjoys spicy. And I feel like, did Big Brother eat them all the last time? Almost all. So I feel like he's kind of giving me the sense that he was going to do this to him. He was going to eat the majority of them and only leave him a nibble. Would that be a bite? A bite. Okay. So, mystery solved. Thank you, Took. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saved some for the others. Okay. So that was the excitement for the night, and I am still a little shocked with it all. As often as we've experienced these amazing people, they never cease to amaze and surprise, and I don't know, I find it enthralling to see what's around the next corner. be another 10 years and he might be 12 foot tall. I don't know. But I'm grateful. I know Ken's grateful. It's left us obviously not speechless, but still trying to get our heads wrapped around it, because it's just such a treat. So needless to say, I'm getting a little on the sleepy. It is late. Anku, thank you for being here. Chuck, thank you for being honest. And I hope that we can do this again soon. Please let me know if you are interested in the Ormus. We are in the process of making a fresh batch again, and it is truly a blessing, if only in helping to heal the body as it is, the mind, the spirit. I'll put some links for the Ormus informational videos. Yes. But for me, it has absolutely been life-altering. I know for Ken also. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Ormus we make is completely non-diluted, so the benefits are intense. It's only a 5 to 10 drop per day dose to start, very minimal. It can be increased after a couple of weeks though, if you feel the need. But yeah, watch the videos if you need information, or email me. I'm glad to help with anything I can. I've also got some spots available for sessions if anybody would like to book those. I can do virtually any day of the week, and normally it's 3 to 5 days out. On rare occasions it can be sooner if it's that important. And I do work globally, so if you are in another country, I do make myself available at times that work for you. Please feel free to email. It will be in the description box, and it's also in the about section. Let me know if you have questions. I am happy to answer them in advance. It's not scary. Most of the time it's fun, and at the very least it is incredibly enlightening to have these working supportive energies around you, bringing information to you to help you through that place that you're in, and that might be just kind of holding you back. I've not yet met any energies that were not completely loving and kind. And if you desire I kind of saw Anku do this. If you desire, he is always more than willing to assist as well. And his insight's been pretty rock solid. So you never know. A lot of fun. I hope you all have a great night. I hope to see you again soon. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or concerns. I'm all yours, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you. Good night.